Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Moody and you're tuning in to Middle School Mondays. Today I'm going to do a 7th grade probability problem because in the past a lot of parents had questions about probability, and so I want to break it down and show you how to solve those types of problems. So it says, Narissa has 5 pink bows, 1 blue bow, and 4 purple bows in a box. She will randomly choose 1 bow from the box. What is the probability Narissa will choose a purple bow? Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to write out everything I remember from the problem. So I'm trying to get all my facts together so I know where to start. So what I do know is that she has 5 pink bows. I'm just going to write 5 pink. She has 1 blue. She has 4 purple. Okay. And she wants to choose 1 random bow from the box. So we're trying to figure out what's the probability. Well, basically, when you think of probability, think about what's the fraction, like what's the chance that she would pull that out. So you first need to find the total. How many bows are there? Well, I know 5 plus 1 is 6 and 6 plus 4 is 10. So I have 10 total bows. And then I know we're trying to look at the purple. How many purple? So we know that she has 4 out of 10 purple bows. So that just means she has 4/10 of a chance that she will pull purple. So out of the 10 bows, there are 4 purple in there. So there's a chance that there's a 4 out of 10 chance that she's gonna pull the purple bow out. I hope that makes sense. I kind of worded that weird. So basically, when you're looking at probability, I would just recommend you looking at the fraction. That's basically what you're doing. You're making a fraction, but you have to simplify this fraction. Okay, so you can't just leave it as 4 out of 10, but our 4/10 is what we would call this fraction. How can we simplify this? Well, I always check and see if the 2 numbers are even first, because I know then I can divide them by 2. Or you could say, what number is a factor of 4 but also a factor of 10, which the answer is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So she has a 2/5 chance, or a 2 out of 5 chance that she will pick a purple bow. But if only it was that simple. We also have some probability problems that require more work. They're more of proportions rather than probability. So let's look at this problem. It says Vincent flipped 3 coins during a probability experiment. The outcomes of the first 40 trials are shown in the table. Probability experiment, faces showing on flipped coins. Number of outcomes. So for all 3 to be tails, it was 4 out of the 40. For 1 to be head and 2 to be tails, it was 13 out of the 40 trials. For 2 heads and 1 tail, it was 16 of the 40, and for 3 heads, it was 7. Based on the information in the table, in how many of the next 120 trials will the outcome be exactly 2 of the coins showing heads? So for this problem, all we really need to do is look at the part where it shows that there were exactly 2 of the coins showing heads. You can't see it, but it is the number was 16. So there were 16 times that there were exactly 2 heads. Sorry, let me erase that because there were 2 times that there were there were 16 times that there were exactly 2 heads and 1 tail, and that was out of 40. So the data shows that there were 16 out of 40. And so the question says, if based on that information, so if this continued at this rate, how many would there be if we had 120 trials? All right, so I know it's 16 out of 40, and I want to know how many for 120. Remember on the last video I did for middle school, I told you that when you don't know something, you could just put X. That's all that is. It's something you don't know. So I know there's 16 over 40, and I don't know how many it would be if there were 120. So now I have to figure that out. So we're taught, of course, to cross multiply these and then do equal, right? But what if we did something different? What if instead of doing the 40x, make sure that looks like an X and not a time, equals 120 times 16. What if instead we just looked at these and saw, okay, what do I notice from here to here? How do I make this 40 120, right? So I know that 4 times 3 is 12. So 40 times 3 is 120, right? So if I know that all I did was multiply the bottom, the number of trials, by 3, then I know that this answer is just going to be 3 times as much as my original answer. So I know that if I had 16 when I did 40 trials and I just tripled that amount, then all I need to do is triple my amount here. So that will give me 16. I already know the answer, but just in case, we're going to do 16 times 3 is 18 plus 1. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 48. So X equals 48. And that just means that since I had 16 trials where it was 2 exact heads, when I did 40 trials, then if I triple the amount of trials, then I'm going to triple the amount of heads that I pull, or the amount of times I get 2 heads exactly when I flip my coins. So the answer is 48. Let me know if you have any questions.